just look at this. This is unbelievable what my cameras have caught. That is my landlord and her boyfriend. And they have just come in. They've barged in. They've broken the chain. They must have bolt cutters. Andrew's a farmer. And they're just waltzing around, doing what they please in the backyard. And like in 3 weeks' time, I'm moving out. I've given them notice to leave. So, I mean, this is unbelievable, the audacity and arrogance of landlords. They truly need to be, you know, hung up. And my landlord was just here, and they've taken the whole chain and the whole gate off the yard and that fence there. So I've called the police, because they have no right to be here or to do that. Hello.
Hi, police.
Oh, great. Thanks for coming. I did say that they left, and they have left, but
okay.
they just took the whole front gate and the whole front fence and my chain and padlock.
Okay, who were they?
My landlord, Kate Rogers, and her boyfriend, Andrew. Kelly?
Have you been having issues with them, or?
Well, yes, kind of. It's a long story. If you want to hear it, I'll be willing to tell you. But, I have given my notice to leave at the end of the month, so 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And she did ask to come and do an inspection, but because she had previously taken me to QCAF about not fixing a bathroom, there's bathroom leaks, and I told her over 3 years, please come and fix it. And like there was no issue, and then she took me to QCAT saying my tenant refused to let me into the premises to fix the bathroom. So it went through to QCAT. I had to go through all this bother to prepare and defend myself, saying no, I said she can come and do it any time. And the case was dismissed. Sorry, I'm a bit worked up about this.
Oh, you're right.
And the case was dismissed. So then I thought, well, I'm certainly not going to live here anymore with this stupid bimbo landlord. Yeah. And I gave her notice to leave. And then she said she wants to come and do an inspection to fix the bathroom. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. I've given her 3 years to do it, and now that I've given her notice to leave, she wants to do it. So I said, no, quite frankly, no. I'm not going to open the gate for you. If you have an issue with me, you can go through QCAT, yeah, or wait for 3 weeks until I leave. But she's just pig-headed, and she's come and cut the chain with bolt cutters and taken the chain, the padlock, which is mine, so that's theft, and the gate as well as the fence.
So did she come and fix the bathroom?
Oh no, it's a huge job. It's like all the rafters.
So what did she say when she was here?
I didn't answer the door, so she didn't say anything to me.
Oh, okay. Whereabouts is management? Where does she stay?
She lives at 13 Forsyth Street, Gin, with her boyfriend.
Okay, what was the address again, sorry?
13 Forsyth Street.
13 Forsyth Street. Okay, we'll go have a chat to her then.
Alright, and there was one thing while you're here. I wasn't going to report this, but that tank is brand new. She put it in before we had the issue, but it's not connected. And the guy, she wasn't here when it arrived, and there was a filter that came with the tank, and it's up to the person to cut it through and install it. So I put it here on my shelf because I wasn't going to do it. And in the meantime, that has been stolen. So I think actually it was the landlord who stole it. I have no proof, so I don't think you can accuse them, but I just want to let you know of the whole situation.
That would be hers anyway, though, would it? If it's
yes, it's not mine. Yeah.
Right.
And what's her name?
Katie Rogers.
All right, we'll go have a chat to Katie, and I mean, if you're going to move out of here,
exactly,
then that'll be less stressful for you anyway, not having to deal with her. But we'll go have a chat to her anyway.
Well, that'll be wonderful.
Cool.
Thanks so
All
much.
right, thanks, Emily.
Bye. Oh, I should get your names.
Oh, I'm Cassie, and this is Al.
Cassie and Al, great, thank you. Okay, this is my CCTV camera. My landlord has broken the gate down. They've chopped removed the padlock and the chain. So they've broken into the yard, and now they're on the veranda, and just look what happens. Rips the fly screen and pushes the padlock, because there's a padlock there. So she's just break and enter, and she has no right to do this. She's totally violating all the laws. She has issues. She has to go through QCAT, And so that's me. I've got it on camera from here on in. You can hear me swearing a lot. Right, so they've just left and I've called the police again. This is the third time I've called the police. Today they've ripped up this to pull the latch across to get in. Unfortunately, I didn't have it locked. This is what happened after they broke in and my total swearing and telling them off completely. You have to go through QCAT. Excuse me, you have to go through QCAT. You can't just barge in. Police, I'd like to report a crime. They're just barging in.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll get someone out to you as soon as I can.
Thanks very much.
No worries.
How dare you just come in? You are clueless about the laws and the rules of QCAT. Get them out. I've told them clearly to get out. I'm leaving in 3 weeks. I've given you notice. How dare you come here? This is going on YouTube.
I've spoken with the RTA today, and we have all rights to be entered today. I'm in here with the acknowledgement of RTA.
Bullshit. You've got to go through QCAT and you've got to get a court order. I know the rules. Thanks very much.
I'm sure you have exploited them many times.
No, I have not exploited them, thanks very much. I found out about them because you took me to QCAT for bogus reasons. After lying to the judge, you stupid woman, saying that I refused to let you in. And that's absolute bullshit and you know it. How dare you take me to QCAT when I told you you could come and do the bathroom whenever you wanted? I can't believe how revolting you are. Such a liar to suit your own needs. What, are you going to try and fix the bathroom with all my stuff here? And I'm in the middle of moving? Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm a friend of theirs, family. Here to help them out with any ideas with the bathroom that she was telling me about.
Well, you have to go away and come back in 3 weeks after I leave. You can't obviously fix the bathroom right now. How disgusting you are.
I'm just following what happened at Kate and Andrew situation.
Well, you're breaking the law right now. In here, it's against the law. Pig-headed, that's all you are. There's no point for you being here, you know damn well. Get fucked, Kate. Understand me. Get out of my house while I'm living here. You have no right to be here. You're breaking the law. You're the most stupid landlord I've ever had. Okay, so it's the next day now, Friday, and I've calmed down somewhat. I'm not as angry as I was when my landlord barged into the house. She broke in, forceful, willful entry, which is totally against all the tenancy laws, not only in Queensland, but I believe everywhere. You can't do that. And I thought I should just explain to anyone who might be interested the whole full story of exactly what has happened in this whole saga. And I'm not going to be biased. Like, if I make myself sound mad and sweary, then I'm just going to. Like, I'm not going to hold back the truth. You're just going to get what's happened. So I've been here 3 years and my landlord's name is Kate. It's a little strange because she totally reminds me of someone that I knew 30 years ago by the name of Weinberg, but apparently it's a different person, so I'm going along with it. So we used to communicate, we have been communicating via email quite regularly. She's been in the house often, and I mean, after 3 months, she did an inspection, and And then after that, we got on well and we chit-chat, and she didn't do any more inspections because she was over here on a regular basis, and she knows me that I'm a clean and tidy person and I'm not going to cause any problems for her. But it started to go awry, and someone told me what the reason was. And that wasn't the reason. I guess I'll get up to it when I get up to it. But it started because she was over here doing renovations and work on the house. Now, this is actually a huge nuisance for a tenant to have to put up with someone doing work. And she would turn up with her boyfriends and her son, and I was happy to go along with it because the work she was doing would benefit me. I mean, she was putting a roof on the veranda, and she was going to put another tank in and fix the gutter. And so, I was very amicable. I made them more teas and coffees and provided biscuits and yummy treats. But it sort of became clear to me that I was like in her way, and she and her group, boyfriend and ex-boyfriend and her son, so they were kind of a little gang, and I was the intruder that she didn't really want to have to deal with. I felt like I was just in her way, little Miss, Queen Bee. And she started being a little bit disrespectful of my possessions, not putting things back, and saying she'll turn up on one day and then not turning up, and just things like that, which kind of annoy me. And one day after fixing the gutter, she didn't put anything back and left it all a mess, and so I was annoyed. And then the next day she emailed me and said she wanted to come over and paint the house. And I just thought about that and what that entitles, because I'd have to move all my furniture and ferns and plants. Like, she wouldn't do it. She would ask me to do it, even though really it's up to her to do it and to put everything back the way she found it. And because I knew she wouldn't do it, she's kind of lazy, I emailed her back and said, look, the house has just been painted 6 years ago, as you've told me. I don't think it needs to be painted, and I don't want you here painting it. And this is the real reason where our problems begin, because she took great offence to the fact that I said no to her. It was the next day, or maybe it was the following day, she sent me notice of hearing through QCAT to leave. And her reason, she didn't mention the paint at all. The reason, she said, was because I was a nuisance, so therefore I was in breach of the lease, because you have to provide quiet enjoyment. And I mean, that's just garbage. Like, I don't disturb anyone. I've never received any complaints at all. I never have parties or loud music. And the other reason was because of the bathroom. Now, this bathroom is unbelievable what she's done. I just can't believe the audacity of her and her little ego, because it turns out the bathroom has been leaking the whole time I've been here, and she's known about it. It's not a major leak, like there's no rot in the joists below, but to fix it, it's a huge job, because all the tiles have to be removed, as well as the bottom tiles around the walls, as well as a new whole waterproof membrane put in. I mean, it's a huge job. And she and her ex-boyfriend, his name is Win, by the way, built the bathroom because they had a skirmish with the builder who lives across the road, and he was fired, I believe. And Kate expected Win to help her build this house because they were in a relationship. And I'm not going to spell it out for you, but basically she expected this as a form of payment for their relationship of, I think they were together 2 years. So I think this happened before I came along. So Wynne obviously was happy to do this. Like, women can be very manipulative. So he built it, and it was finished. I moved in, and but the problem with the bathroom, she expected him to fix it, and he obviously had different ideas. I think he believed he had paid his debt to her for their relationship, and he knew what a big job it was to fix it, and he just wasn't going to do it. But he did come around with a tube of silicone and he ran it along the wall. So at the time, I wondered, what on earth did he do that for? It's not even leaking there. There's no problem. It just didn't make any sense why he did that at the time. I mean, now I know why he did it. He did it because he was saying to Kate, yeah, I've been there, I fixed it. I mean, ridiculous. Okay, so anyway, basically 2.5 years go by, and the bathroom problem, finally I noticed the bathroom problem, because there was some other issue with the water leaking over the floor into the other room. For some reason, the builder put a big channel in the gap between the house and the bathroom and the floor. I'm not sure why they did this and why there isn't a wall or a door there. It's unfinished. The whole bathroom is unfinished. So because of this problem that happened, I noticed the other major problem, which actually there's a big crack in the floor, and that's where the water's getting through into the crack, into the membrane. The membrane is not doing its job. Whoever put the membrane in didn't do it properly, because that's what the whole point of the membrane is for, is to stop any water from leaking. So I noticed that the water leaks if there's a long shower. So if I have a quick shower, it doesn't really leak. It's not a problem. And as a result, there's no rot, which is why she hasn't bothered about it. And when I started communicating to her about the bathroom problem, she was really, I don't know what's the word, kind of strange, maybe avoiding the topic, or suddenly she would say that she would fix it, and then she'd come up with excuses that she wouldn't fix it. And I just didn't know why she was being so odd about it. Like, this stretched over a few months, and I said to her, fix it anytime you want. I don't really mind. It's not a problem. That I can still use the bathroom. It's not creating any issues. And then in the middle of winter, she said, I think I might fix it now. And I said to her, it's the middle of winter. I can't really have a shower outside on the veranda in the middle of winter. It's too cold. And she said that I should have a shower at her place. And she lives in Gin, which is about 10 kilometres away from Kookaburra Park, maybe not that much. I always allow 15 minutes to get into Gin, but someone told me that they do it in 6 minutes. So, I mean, it's definitely, I'm not going to drive all the way into Gin to have a shower. I mean, I'm a very practical person, and I'm happy to have a shower on the veranda, providing it's not the middle of winter. And after I said this happened to coincide with the issue of the painting. I think it might have been the week before I said this to her. I'm not too familiar with all the timelines, but it was around about the same time. So, when she gave me the notice of hearing for QCAT, she has to state the reasons. And what I told you, one reason was I was a nuisance, which I'm not at all. In fact, it's pretty much the other way around. She's totally one of those nuisance girls. Some girls are just kind of, I don't know, clingy and pathetic. She definitely falls into this category. But that's personal, so I won't put in personal stuff. I'll just stick to the facts of what happened. And the other reason was, she said my tenant wouldn't allow me to fix the bathroom. And I was just so mad about this because it was completely untrue, and I had lots of proof because we had all of our emails, like heaps of them, over months and months of me clearly stating several times, please come and do it. You can do it anytime. Anytime, come and do it. So, I mean, I had pretty much a whole heap of proof and evidence to discredit her 2 reasons of why she wanted me to leave, and I definitely would have won. I also had my uncle, who happens to be a retired magistrate, helping me. And by the way, he was when I first told him of the situation that I was called into QCAT, he said, you know, oh no, what have you done? Like, you know, condemning as if I must have done something. And it did take me about 4 weeks and showing him all the evidence and proof of our emails and conversations before he realised that, yeah, you are not to blame here. I mean, because most people assume that the landlord is right and the tenant is wrong. And there's a lot of issues about bad tenants, and QCAT is basically designed to help landlords. The tenant doesn't really have many rights at all. I mean, they have a few basic ones, like you can't just kick someone out because you don't like them anymore. You've got to wait till the lease ends. So finally he saw the situation as it presented after 4 weeks it took me. And he helped me write a response because mine was kind of waffly. If you haven't noticed, I kind of go on and put in every single detail so that people can totally understand the situation, which basically I find is really necessary. Otherwise people don't get it at all. They jump to conclusions. And he noticed, as well as someone else, you can get advice if you have to go to QCAT, and both of them noticed that for some reason there's a 2-week period where you've got to lodge your form if you want them to leave, and they can't even look at the reasons if you don't lodge it within the 2-week period. So to me this is a very strange rule, but I thought the judge will probably overlook it. A typical judge taking sides of the landlord. But in my case, it turned out, after I put in all of this work, me and my uncle put in all of this work to prepare our response and our argument, she took one look at the case and saw the 2-week deadline and said, case dismissed, it's too late. And so basically that means that I won and I have the right to stay here. So I wasn't, even though I won in theory, I felt like I didn't win at all because I had to go through so much bother and stress. It's very stressful going to court. I don't know if you're familiar with court, but it's a stressful thing if you're not used to it. It certainly was for me, and I hate public speaking. And anyway, so when I got home, I thought, well, I'm not going to live here with this landlord. She's clearly an idiot. And I'll start looking for somewhere else. I told her I would start looking for somewhere else because she still wanted me to leave. She sent me, in the meantime, all of these nuisance emails harassing me, saying, get out, get out, get out. I want you to get out, and you're vile, and a whole heap of emails. I've got them all on record, but I'm not going to repeat them. They were just bad, and she's very childish and unprofessional. And I think spoiled maybe is probably the best word to describe her, because you know, she doesn't like anyone to say no to her. She's obviously not used to it. She doesn't work. She has nothing to do. That's probably why she wanted to work on my house, on this house so much. And anyway, so yeah, after the case ended and I told her that I was still going to leave as soon as I found somewhere suitable, but I told her about the rental situation, which then and now is ridiculous. It is just so hard to find somewhere to live, and especially if you don't have a good reference from your current landlord, which I definitely wouldn't have since she took me to QCAT. She said that she would still say truthful, accurate, good and nice things about me when I asked her. I told her it would be in her best interest to be a good reference, because then I'll find somewhere quicker. But I don't think that she would do that. In fact, I know she didn't. I have some feedback about that. Anyway, eventually I did find somewhere. And before that, I gave her a breach of lease to fix the bathroom, because her whole argument was that I refused to let her fix the bathroom. So I thought, oh, well, I'll just give her a breach to remedy to fix the bathroom. So she knows that I have no issues, she can fix the bathroom. And as if she wants to fix the bathroom, because, I mean, that's the whole thing. She didn't want to fix it because it's such a huge job. She couldn't do it. And her ex-boyfriend didn't want to do it, and he's the one who knows how to fix it. Her current boyfriend doesn't know how to fix it, so that's why she was beating around the bush. I guess she has no one to fix it, and the thought of paying someone to do it doesn't enter into her head, even though if she put her mind to it, she could easily do that. Anyway, so yeah, I finally found somewhere 2 months later. And so I gave her 5 weeks. I said, I'm leaving in 5 weeks' time. I gave her notice to leave. And after a couple of weeks, or 1 or 2 weeks, I can't remember, she emailed me back and said that she wanted to do an inspection of the bathroom to get it fixed. And I was just furious about this because, you know, she's had 3 years. And when I'm leaving, she wants to do an inspection of the bathroom. And she knows perfectly well what the problem is. I mean, she's basically lied, saying she doesn't know anything about the bathroom situation, and she does. She knows full well what the situation is and what's going on. But she has managed to lie to everyone, especially the police, and sweet talk them, because she's like a pretty blonde. So she sweet talked everyone. And, well, hang on, I'm jumping ahead. So I told her no, she can't do the inspection because I'm leaving in 3 weeks. Yeah, so it was 2 weeks after I told her I'm leaving. And then, well, basically you saw on camera what happened. She forced her way in here and broke the door down, came in. I swore at her. And I think the reason she actually came in and was so dramatic about taking the whole gate and the whole front fence was because I, again, said no to her. She said, I'm going to do an inspection on the bathroom. And I said, no, Kate, you're not. You can wait 3 weeks until I've gone. It's not going to, you know, there's no damage is going to be done in that period. You've waited 3 years, 3 weeks is not going to matter. So I think it was the fact that I said no to her again is what pig-headed her into tearing down the whole gate and the front fence and then ripping the door up. And that's her door, so she's going to have to fix it. And opening the latch and letting herself in. So that's what happened. And so now I think, well, is she going to come back? When I hopped in the shower at the end of the day, I thought, is she going to come in now? You know, I've got this underlying fear now in my head that my landlord is going to barge in constantly and I'm not going to be able to have any peace. I'm not going to be able to go outside, and I have to keep an eye out on all the cars. If anyone comes, I've got to quickly race and make sure that the door's locked and the back door's locked and that the bars are all in the windows. So I'm very, very angry still, even though I've calmed down. And, oh yeah, because I did call the police, and it's up to really the police to do something about this. I mean, I did phone the helpline for Tennessee, and they said you have the right to press charges against Kate for breaking and entering into the house. she's not allowed to do that. Only a court order gives anyone permission to break and enter into a house, even if it's your own house. But because the police, Sharon Morgan at Gin, she is clueless about tenancy laws. She only knows, the basic laws that they get taught in police school, mainly car laws. She said that it's her house, she can do what she wants. That was Sharon Morgan's exact words to her, because I phoned Sharon Morgan and said, what the hell, you were meant to send around someone to talk to my landlord to say that you can't come into my house. And so basically Sharon thought that it would be fine if she did. They may be friends. I'm not entirely certain. Gin is a very small town that's only got a population of 3,000, so they would know each other for sure. And there is a reason if you go to court to ask the judge to give you permission to come in when you're not meant to. There's a reason which the judge will grant it, and it's if there is damage that may cause immediate health problems like a flood, or if there are live electric wires or something of this sinister nature. And she has to go to a judge to get permission still. And so she told Sharon Morgan, she lied to Sharon Morgan, saying that there was, bathroom leakage causing immediate emergency repairs and damage is needed, and there's sewage problems, which is, completely untrue. And I said to Sharon Morgan later, well, that is untrue. She completely lied to you. And I told her I can tell you the whole story. And she said that she didn't have time to hear the whole story, and her story sounded feasible. So that was her reasoning and her excuse as to why she didn't investigate it and press charges. Like, I don't know why it's up to her. I feel like I should be able to press charges if I want. But she implied that I can't press charges if she doesn't think she broke the law. So, she did break the law. She lied to the police. But the police would be inclined to believe her because I know Sharon Morgan and I've written about her on my blog. We had an incident. I put in a complaint against her before, and I put in a complaint against her again, because she is very incompetent at what she does. She can't see the big picture at all, and she gets manipulated by pretty little sweet talkers like my landlord Kate Rogers. And by the way, Sharon Morgan is someone who totally flips out if you raise your voice at her. Like, she just can't handle it. She's one of those personality types that gets kind of gung-ho and carried away and incensed if you speak in a raised voice. Like, there are quite a few people like this. It seems to be a common personality trait amongst, well, actually particularly men, but not always men. Alright, I think I've said everything I need to say, and my voice has gone hoarse from talking so much. So that's what happened. Oh, I forgot to mention the other reason why somebody else who saw what happened, but they didn't quite see everything from the very beginning when Kate was over here doing work around the house and being a little disrespectful. They thought that the reason why she suddenly turned and was hostile towards me was because I said no to showering at her place. So she took that as a rebuke, like, against her personally, like I didn't want to be friends with her, where that's really not the case at all. I just am practical and didn't want to drive all the way up to Gin to have a shower. Like, it's no problem for me to have a shower on the veranda. I can just rig up some privacy situations and put the hot water out the window. Like, it's easy. So, yeah. Okay, it is now the following day and I went to upload this and the whole thing had been deleted off my iPad. Can you believe that? So actually there were segments in the trash which I had to recover and I had to do the whole thing again, including the recording. So I wasn't too impressed about that and I can only assume that I win. I find this happens a lot. If I win, people kind of go out of their way to destroy me or sabotage me in some way. And I know that I win if I put this up because people can see what happened, the big picture. And there's so many people that are fucked up here, everyone but me. And I also want to say she had told me in one of her irate nuisance emails that she sent to me, my landlord, she told me that she already had a buyer for this house. So it could have been the main motivation reason. And also in the time that I've been here, the 3 years I've been here, I've had several items go missing. They have been stolen. They've been, break and enter from my locked house. Right, I think now I'm done. Oh, the rain, could you hear the rain at the end of that? I mean, so lovely here now that it's raining finally after 9 years it's been since the last major flood. So that's 9 years of drought we've had and now it's raining. So good.